back to Otlichno. I am once again Noxter, and what is this? Jeeves is selling stuff. Packed. Ooh, that's cool. Horse armor, no one cares about. Miscellaneous books. Yeah, cool. Right. On the subject of shops, I was going to show you the other thing I've been working on, and I'm actually going to turn onto default resource pack, and that didn't work. So, because being a public build meant for the general community, I want it to look good for normal people. So I specifically made something that looks good in the default pack, and to be fair, it looks really nice, and I do quite like the default pack. So yes, this is Grumpy Owl's space tunnel, which I think is really cool. It's just like, ooh, all dark and stars, and you go past planets. It's nice. But yes, I mentioned a couple episodes back I reserved a spot for my shop, and the plan is to sell largely the stuff I get from AFK fishing, but probably also some other stuff like gunpowder, because I also get that whilst AFK fishing, and other things. I might do some custom enchantment services as well, which I think is pretty cool, and maybe a lot of other things, but primarily it's for fishing loot. But then again, every man and his dog's pretty much got an AFK fisher, so I don't want to just rely on that as an income. But here you can see I have a lovely, beautiful shop, a statue of myself fishing a fishing rod, a treasure chest out of this little pond. So I think that's glorious. It's called salvage because, you know, salvage. That's what it is. Really like the way I was able to do those eyes with the banners, although it's a bit weird they have to be on trapdoors, so it looks like I have massive lashes. I quite like that I used the sideways Noxterian flag banner for my armband thingy. Let's just kill this guy so I can take a look at myself in the mirror. Yeah. I was able to make it because it goes sideways. Yeah, that's cool. And I like actually using the banner as the actual one instead of the Noxterian banner version, just because it's nice to actually have the actual flag. And yeah, I really love it. And the terrain was just perfect for it. There was this little hill up here, which, you know, I did some minor sculpting to make it fit, and the pond was already here. I expanded it and shaped it, you know, to make it look like that chest could have actually potentially fit down there. So that's what I've done, and decorated with all sorts of vines to look like seaweed and barnacles. Star was amazing. He gave me this chorus plant so that I can have purpur. I used it, first of all, to eat so that I can do that advancement thing I was working on. So all I've got left now is the notch apple, which is going to be a pain in the butt. But yeah, there's only one end stone to grow it though, so I can't make a massive farm or anything. He also gave me a dragon head, which I'm going to use later on, because building a dragon themed base, you kind of need dragon heads. So I'm going to need more of those, but maybe I'll see if he's probably got some more, so maybe I can make a deal there. But yeah, this is really cool. Slime block launcher to get in. Lagging apparently. That's wonderful. Beautiful timing. But that allows me to show you. I've got it specially set up. Like, you stand on a fence post. I was originally planning to have a daylight sensor because you need something. Well, a fence post sticks to the slime, and it just gets moved up and pulled back down. But it raises you up a little bit of block, so you can. Oh, that's fantastic. It raises you up a little bit so that you can just walk mostly over the slime to hit the pressure plate on the other side. Because you've got this fence here, you push up against that so that you're standing half on the pressure plate and half on the slime block. And that means if you know, sometimes, like if it glitches out so that it doesn't launch you like that, you kind of just wait there until you do get launched. So all you have to do is just walk up, push against it, and it's lagging a bit at the moment. I should probably not have jumped down to demonstrate that. Yeah, see, just pop, pop, pop until eventually it goes. It's particularly terrible at the moment. Normally it's not this bad. And then you just pop in through the keyhole. It's covered up with banners, so it's all dark on the outside. You go in here, and here's the shop. I'm going to put an ender chest on top of there. And there's stuff. This is just where I've been keeping my junk at the moment. But there's different chests. I can have different items in each one for sale. And then you can go downstairs, and there's more. And yeah, cool. I like the look. It's pretty dark in here, but there's no spawn spaces, which I quite like the look of. And yeah, this is kind of the bookshelf, because this is like the book section. Probably I'll have books in there. So yeah, that'll be cool. So I just need to actually stock it up and figure out pricing and stuff like that, and we'll be ready to go. Downside of using the banners for eyes is that when you get too far away, they kind of just disappear, and you're left with this big glowy stare. It's kind of creepy. So I noticed when you're trying to look for enchanted books, when you have a massive library of them like mine down there, it's really a pain to quickly sort through and find the ones you're actually looking for. So what I've done is I've actually made a resource pack which modifies the language files to color code the enchantments. So you can see mending shows up as green with an underline, so let's keep that one. All the rest we just put down into the system. But you can see power, because it's a one for a bow, I've put a slash through them because I don't really need to bother about keeping them if they're on a book, and the same with the fishing rods and things like that. But you can fairly quickly see they're all kind of color coded based on what they do, just to make it more convenient, so that when I'm looking through the chests down there to find a specific enchantment, it should be pretty easy, because I can just go, like if I know what colour I'm looking for, if I'm looking for mending, which there shouldn't be any in here because I sorted them out beforehand, but I know I need to look for green with an underline, or if I'm looking for aqua affinity or a water related one, it'll be the dark cyan colour, and that should make it a little bit quicker when I'm looking for something specific. Well, I am back at the Drakenberg, and what I want to do is find a better home for that nether portal, and I'm going to build it, I've decided, over on that rock there, which I call the gate stone. I love it. It's just kind of floating. There's only one block between the bottom of it and the island below, so it's really cool. So I've decided the kind of bridge. I want it to be kind of, you know, the rickety old bridge over a boiling like a lava type bridge. You know, the rope bridge. And ideally I'd love it if I could build it diagonally across, because that's kind of closer. But that doesn't really work, because I tried some designs. I couldn't get anything that looked good. But I managed to get one that does look good for going across from here to here. And that's pretty nice, really close to where our main entrance is. Well, which is going to be the main entrance to the caves. So that's pretty good. Now, I've prepared the shape of the bridge in Creative, and what I've done is I'm experimenting with using a mod, which you've probably heard of, called Schematica, so that it's good for showing things and building things. So I want the Drakenberg bridge, and that's the bridge. All I have to do is figure out where to put it, and this thing will tell me where to place the blocks. And if I'm correct, and if it works the same way as it did in Creative, I can actually get it to actually build it really easily. So let's see, we need to rotate it that way, or possibly the other way. I am not very proficient at this yet. Move it here. Have I got it the right way around? Because one side is higher than the other. So, what I should be able to do is turn on the printer mode, and it should be able to place all the blocks for me as I walk along. Which, to be honest, it feels a little bit cheaty, because normally you have to go and build all that scaffolding and stuff. Whereas here I can just, well, let's get the blocks. Let's start with doing the planking. Alright, let's see if this works. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Look at this. Oh, I'm going to need some stairs as well. Alright, stairs. Oh, I probably don't want to craft quite that many. Actually, now I think about it. But I'll probably do want a lot. It's quite interesting because the way you have to place the stairs, you can only place them still forwards. So like these ones behind me, I'm facing the wrong way. But if I turn around, they get placed in. So I kind of have to spin around as I go along. Oh, but this is glorious. Do you imagine how much of a pain this would be to build by hand? So basically all it's doing, the mod, is telling the server that I'm just placing these blocks, and the server checks that, yeah, I'm close enough, I can place those blocks. Doesn't figure out that I'm not actually looking at them. And everything just works beautifully. And the other thing that this can also do is tell me what I need. I've got some birch fence I just made, but I didn't bring them on me because I thought I'd do that in a separate pass. This is really beautiful. Again, it feels a little bit cheaty. I don't know how much I'll actually use this for other things, because again, it is amazing. Like, this is the truly amazing part. The not having to do all the tedious scaffolding work. That's what's really amazing about it. Like, yeah, it's nice to be able to show you, and I think it is good for being able to see, you know, because the thing is, I have built this bridge by hand in creative mode beforehand. So it's not like I'm just magically putting in stuff, and I'm still collecting the resources for it. All that I'm doing is avoiding doing all the tricky scaffolding and stuff. Okay, I'm going to need, what's the button? Materials. I need a few more slabs. I need about 10 more. It even tells me just how many I need to make. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. Again, that feels a little bit cheaty, but at the same time, like, as I said with the AFK Auto Fisher, it's just like, yeah, like, I don't have a lot of time to play. I'd rather, you know, focus on, I guess, doing the things that I enjoy than doing the tedious stuff tediously. And again, I have built the thing by hand. It's not like I just downloaded someone else's design off the internet and am building that. So it's like, I've kind of designed it. It's just a way of importing the creative mode stuff into here. And I still have to collect the resources. It just makes it a lot easier to place, and I don't have to do scaffolding. So I don't know how much I'll use that. I think I might still generally have a bit of a preference for where it's convenient just placing it by hand anyway, but maybe using the schematics to show. I still need 270 more of these things. This is ridiculous. So I don't know how I'll end up doing it, but that really is a beautiful sensation to just be able to do that. Looking at the way this is lined up, I think it was supposed to go one further down, but over that way. One more block. But that's okay. It's not going to make a big difference, hopefully, to the overall shape if I just make that change. Yeah. And there we are. I am pretty happy with how that looks. Well, apparently I left some leaves behind. Some of the trees that are the fancy ones from the generation, they seem to generate with leaves that don't decay, so it's kind of weird, and they just leave them hanging around. I apparently missed a few. But that looks pretty nice. You got all this. This will be a lot of fun to fly around and under when we finally get access to Elytra. That's beautiful though. And you know, to just be able to go and build that so simply is just glorious. Wow. So the next step we're going to have to do is build the actual portal, which is going to go on here. I'm not quite sure where. Unfortunately, it's a 3-block wide portal design I'm going for, so it doesn't line up quite with this, so I either have to make it... I'm not quite sure how I'll fit that, but I'll figure that in a minute, because first I want to talk about what our actual plans are for the Drakenberg and the surrounds. So, oh yeah, good, some sunlight. So as I discovered when I did New Terra Noxta, people often play Minecraft and they're just like, yeah, this is my mountain, this is the desert near my place, this is the spruce forest near my place. Whereas in real life, things have names, and it's so much cooler when you name places and landmarks and stuff. And people really need to do it so much more. I've had so much fun coming up with names for all this area. So first of all, obviously we've got the Drakenberg, being the name of the mountain. And I figured all the territory that's kind of around here nearby, I mean, I can't go and name every single landmark on the server because other people own it as well, but everything that's kind of roughly within render distance, and maybe a little bit more, is called Drakenshire. So it's all the territory around the Drakenberg. It doesn't mean we own it exclusively, like, we consider that it's our territory, it's ours, and you know, there might be a village of people over there, but they're really kind of under our domain. They don't pay us taxes or do anything, and they do their entire own thing, but we consider that we're kind of governing them, sort of overseeing them. So that's kind of how it works, and anyone else on the server who wants to build within this area is more than welcome to. Obviously I reserve kind of the Drakenberg itself, but the surrounds, if you want to build a little village or something, that's fine. So let's go through some of the names I've got, because there's quite a lot, and as you make up names for things, you kind of get a little bit of lore as well behind it. So this village over here, I thought, well, it's made out of, you know, it's lots of acacia wood and acacia trees, so I kind of just mispronounced the word acacia as Kasea, then figured out a different way of spelling it, and that becomes the village of Kasea. And then, by logical connection, this temple-y thing over here, which is kind of an old ruin, became Rho Kasea, which is like, you imagine the ancient people that the modern-day Akaseans are descended from used to have this temple, so now it's just kind of an artifact of the past. Right, so this whole deserty area, this is kind of the thing. Like, you look at this desert, you think, well, it's desert, it's all sandy, and it's all dry, and deserts are, you know, dry, not much water, but this one, you look at it, there's, like, ponds and lakes and trees and stuff everywhere. It's just like, wow! So it's kind of, like, deceptive or full of guile. So this whole area is called the Sands of Guile, this area, and the stuff on the other side of the river. This river we need to talk about, because this river goes all the way from here. If you follow it this way, I'm not going to follow it all the way, but it goes all the way, and there's a little bit of a, thank you, lag back, there's a bit of a spot, apart from a spot just up here where I had to dig a channel, thank you, lag, thank you, over there I had to dig that little bit of a channel because it didn't quite connect, if I can actually see it. This river goes all the way to the big lake that's around spawn, so it's pretty cool, a nice scenic boat trip to row down there. It takes a long time, but it's nice and scenic. It's lots of cool terrain on the way. And from Spawn Lake, you can actually go around across a frozen river. You can do a bit of a loop and get back to actual Spawn Town as well, which is pretty nice. Although, you're better off parking your boat and crossing the hills, because it's less of a detour. But so, this is the river, and because it goes to Spawn, I thought Spawn, kind of place, origin, or birth, and so I call this the River Natala. Natala being kind of Latin, I think, or related to Latin, and we get words like natal and stuff from that. And on the other end, it kind of loops around, and it goes that way away and connects to some other big oceany thing over that way eventually. But yeah, so this is the Natala River, and probably I'd unofficially refer to Spawn Lake as Lake Natala for that reason. And this is the thing, I mean, if you think about it in real life, there's plenty of cases where people have different names for things, so people have, or, you know, different people in their different languages. So, like, you know, this is what we call it, the River Natala. Other people who live down the other end, I know Stars Port is just kind of on the mouth of it down the other end. Yeah, so, feel free, if anyone has any objections to calling it the River Natala, you can call it whatever the heck you like. This is what we call it. Alright, so, that's the problem with this lag with spectator mode. Right, where do we get up to? Ah, yes, these woods over here. Let's just see if I can load them in properly. Yeah, we go. So, we've got this totem pole, and there's another one a bit over that way. And I thought, that made me think of, well, I guess totem poles you kind of associate with Native American sort of stuff, although the kind of style makes me think more Aztec-y, Maya kind of vibe. Kind of a little bit, but although it's kind of wooden, and you expect that would be similar shapes, but more stony. But also this is sprucey, so that kind of makes me think something along those vibes, and so I decided to call it Ikenbock Woods. And the name actually comes from Banjo-Kazooie, because you got the shaman dude, his name is Mumbo Jumbo, and his kind of signature saying is Ikenbockum, and things like that. So I just kind of took that and made it Ikenbock Woods. So that's just kind of how I connected that loosely. And then you come up with, you know, some of the lore of that. So Ikenbock Woods is named after the Ikenbock tribes who used to live here long ago. They're mostly not around anymore. There's just maybe a few crazy, or not crazy, but lonely hermit type dudes, maybe a small nomadic tribes, but they're mostly, it used to be, you know, a big huge tribe that used to settle in this area, you know, centuries ago or something. And then possibly they used to have feuds and wars with the people of Rho Kasea at the time. So suddenly you're getting a little bit of lore behind the place as well, just by giving things names. Around this area, I'm not quite sure what to call this area. I've got this lake here, and there's this other little pondy thing there, and then there's beyond that more desert in hills and stuff, which is kind of outside of the boards of Drakenshire. This valley here, this is kind of one of my favourite, most scenic places, this little nook. So the Drakenberg itself is sort of an L shape. You got this big section and then the big fat section up there. There's a little bit of a knob there. So this is kind of in the crook of the L. You've got this little spring beneath the rock thing, which I quite like, and there's the waterfalls. So I call this place Betula Vale. And Betula is actually Latin for birch, because there's a lot of birches here. And it's also, I believe it was the name of the street where my grandpa used to live. And he had a really cool house. So that's the name of this. And this is the next mountain in the chain. So there's the Drakenberg, then there's that lag thing. You get spun around all the time. It's annoying. Then there's this mountain with a village on top. And I call this one Mount Borea. It's related to the Latin Borealis, which you'll know from, you know, the Aurora Borealis, which just means north, because it's in the north. And presumably the village is called Borea Village as well, or something. And, ooh, it's a really cool cave in there. So, yeah. Mount Borea is, in my opinion, it's considered vacant if someone wants to build a base there. Again, like I said, anyone within the bounds, but it's kind of like, this is like the neighbour's place. It's not really Drakenshire as such, but it's within the Drakenshire region. This rain's a little bit annoying. Okay, so over here we have this lake, and beyond the lake there's this hollow next to Mount Borea where we've got this giant jack-o'-lantern and other slightly less giant jack-o'-lanterns. So this area is Lantern Hollow, and the lake is called Lake Lanterna, which is actually Latin for lantern, because they were really creative with their names and just thought, well, let's just call it lantern and add an A on the end. Right. Yes. Right. This area here, I'm not entirely sure about this. We've got this kind of scrubby, half deserty trees, scrubby place. It kind of wraps around here, and then it goes on to desert, which is kind of outside of our boundaries. I haven't quite decided on a name for that yet. But this area here, it's kind of this sprucey forest, and then you got this big gash right through the middle and a little one there. Almost looks like maybe like some of the dragons came and just scraped their massive claws along it. Obviously the claws aren't that big, but, you know, so maybe I call that something to do with Scar, I'm thinking, in the name. Not quite sure. And this deserty area I haven't really named as well either. So it's kind of that, and then the white stuff. This mountain here, because it's largely diorite, is called Mount Dire. And there's the ridge actually extends. Let me just reload the chunks over this way a little bit. And I actually only just discovered there's like a huge floating, one of those huge floating island things over this way. Which, you know, I've been living here for weeks, but never explored that far. So that's really cool. It's very similar to the one that I think it's Danesto and Insidious maybe have, but it's not, sadly. I almost thought it was at first. I was like, hey, cool, they're actually neighbours, but no, they're not. I have no neighbours. Well, no immediate neighbours. Brick Method was not far away. He also hasn't been particularly active. Anyway, and then there's just this woodland. This is kind of outside the borders. But this is probably the old Ickenbock territory still, even though it's not really the Ickenbock woods. That's that spruce forest. But something to do with the Ickenbock people, because they've got another one of their totems and whatever. And that's kind of beyond the area we really care about. So yes, this is the Drakenberg, or somewhere of it. Here it is. Lag and rain is annoying, and this is the Gatestone, which is, I think I said that's considered, you know, part of the Drakenberg itself. This is where we stick our portal. And I know I talked about maybe having it inaccessible except for flying and ender pearls. So I'm kind of not doing that. I'm having the portal up here, and then you can just, you know, walk across the bridge and you're there. But it kind of makes things a little bit more homey, and it looks awesome. And to be fair, it's like, it's still isolated from the general populace, because, you know, you need special access to Nether portal, crazy magic stuff to be able to actually go through that network. So, you know, common people like the Kaseans and whatnot don't really have that. Although, what I probably may want to do is have some way so that people on foot can get back up, because if I do get visitors and they come around here and then they fall off and they can't get back to the Nether portal, that's a little bit awkward for them. And more importantly, I mean, A, it's a pain for them, but B, they're likely to build pillars and stuff to get up here and make the place ugly. What I could do maybe is just stick another Nether portal down here in this little hollow, or something like that, so that there's another way. But make sure the portal from the Nether connects to the higher up one. That could work. Or possibly, I was thinking I could have a little shop here that sells ender pearls. So it's just like, whoop, you fell off? Oh well, better buy some ender pearls. And I make a killing. of course, then if they don't have any money, then it's still in a problem. So yeah, I think I want to take out this dirt patch because it looks a little bit silly down there. And once I get some end rods, I'll stick them on there like I said I was going to. But that's about it for the general tour. Oh, I just did all that explaining the names of the place around the Drakenberg, but I still haven't talked about what we're actually going to do. What the plan for the base itself is. I was going to do that. Originally thinking about doing that like 2 episodes ago, so... Alright, so... Obviously, dragon themed, we've mentioned. It's in the name, it's in everything. But you can't really have real dragons in Minecraft. I mean, there's the Ender Dragon, but apart from that, you can't. And for some reason, like, I'm perfectly happy with have done in the past, continue to build villages or cities and stuff for people that are imaginary. I mean, it's really just me, but for some reason, you can't have cities or homes for dragons that are imaginary. That just doesn't work. So, there's no actual dragons here, although possibly in the lore it may be a place where dragons used to live long ago, and there might be some skeletons, some of them, but largely it's inhabited by a tribe, or maybe more of a clan of people who fly around with rocket-propelled dragon wing-like gliders, aka Elytra, and they have a reverence for dragons. They like dragons. Maybe they're descended from people who used to live with dragons or something, and rule over this place kind of in the name of dragons, even though the dragons aren't around. So it's going to be very dragon themed. There's going to be statues and sculptures of dragons and stuff, and everything's dragon themed, but there's no actual real live dragons. Is kind of the vibe I'm going for. So as for what's actually built on the mountain, maybe a few buildings. I want to like probably dress this up and make it look less like just an ugly piece of redstone mangledness. Like maybe build some towers. There might be a few buildings on top, but the large part of the base is going to be inside the mountain. I'm going to pretty much try and hollow out this entire main section, and then below the mountain itself dig down ridiculously deep, so it'll be like one massive cavern with lots of big caves and stuff winding all around the place, so you can go inside and fly around and just go nuts and stuff. So that's what I'm really going for. Whew. So that's the plans for the Drakenbergs. I still need like names. There's a few of those places I haven't named. I'm not quite sure what the people call themselves. I was thinking, well, one idea I was thinking they're like people or men who fly around like dragons or drakes. They could be the mandrakes, but that's very silly because a mandrake is a screaming horseradish thing. But possibly like the Draken, maybe? Well, the Draken. And they also need like a name, probably, or a title for the chieftain who sits on the Draken throne, which we'll have somewhere, who's kind of like the head honcho dude. But I kind of want a fancy title other than just like Dragon Lord or something, because that's a little bit overdone, personally. So, I don't know. But that's a bit long to go with. Anyway, for now, I think I want to start work on the actual portal itself, which is going to feature, probably, unless I change my mind about the order I do things, the first of our dragon statues. And I do have to mention it's heavily inspired by a portal design that Pearlescent Moon did for a Grian video, and she's done a tutorial on how to build that, and I was almost considering just doing the exact same, following her tutorial and building that, but I decided to add my own touch and make it fit. So it's the same sort of style. It's like a portal with a dragon behind it, kind of crouching and looking over it, but it's my own design. So that's what I get to, and once again, Schematica is going to come in handy. I just forgot, another place I forgot to mention is the mountains here. These kind of clay terracotta mountains, which aren't loading for me. This is Pterodont Ridge. Terra meaning earth, and as in terracotta, because that's what they're largely made out of, and don't meaning teeth, so it's like teeth of the earth. So that's Pterodont Ridge, and the spot where the river Natala goes through those mountains is the Pterodont Gate. And this is kind of like pretty much the southern borders of Drakenshire. And this is a really cool little hollow thing just in the side there. Someone should build something there. So yes. Well, the lag and jumping around is really annoying, but you get the gist.
Alright. So, I've now constructed a portal on top of the gate stone, which we will see as I turn around. Da 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 da! What do you reckon? I reckon that's a pretty nice looking portal. This guy is kind of more of a chubby design than some of the ones I go with. He's almost a bit more, I don't know, cartoonish sort of proportions. But I like him. And yeah, I kind of wanted this shape of head because you need something that gives it definition. I wanted to be able to see the eyes. So I used this shape of head, which is actually from a different dragon I'd made, which was a bit bigger. So because he had such a big head, he kind of needed to be a bit of a chubby shape like this in order to fit. And I quite like him. So I've got some spikes, spiky tail. The wings, I don't know, the wings might be a little bit oversized, but again, it's the cartoonishy sort of thing. Like, probably the digits there are maybe a little bit longer than they would be on a more realistically proportioned, but then again, this is a lot bigger than a realistic size for a dragon. And most of the sculptures we'll be building for are going to be larger than life, just because we're working with very big blocks and you can't really do much. It's life size. But that's cool. I'm pretty happy with the way he turned out. It was a bit weird to make him out of wood, but I kind of like the colour. I wanted something dark for this one. But the nether brick, A, was too dark and didn't have a lot of contrast, and I wanted to make the portal frame. And I like how you've just got this creeper face out of lava kind of behind the portal as well. Even though in my texture pack, creeper faces don't look like that. Well, one of the pumpkin faces is a creeper face, though, so there's that. Don't know what I'll do if mobs spawn on the bridge. I haven't had that happen yet. I don't know why. They ought to be able to, but yeah. But yes, Schematica came in great. Very handy for this. Yeah. So that is my portal. And the next step is going to be to build the corresponding portal on the nether side. And in the case that I do want to build another portal down here, I need to make sure that the nether side portal one is high enough up that you come out here and not down there. So have to be a little bit careful about that, but that shouldn't be a problem. Well, that was convenient timing. I was about to end this clip anyway. Thanks! So, of course, I've got my own personal banner, like you see on my shield, but I also want to have one, make a banner specific for the Drakenberg that I can use to, I don't know, stick around the place. So I've played around with some designs, and I finally found one that I'm pretty happy with. I'd really love it if you could add just like one more layer, and I could put a gradient over the top because I really like the way that looked, but you can't unless you know, using commands or whatever. So see if I can remember how to do it. You start with a black X, right, that, and then you do the red little furly things on the bottom. What's the tech name? Base indented. Okay, and then it's a black cross, I think. I really hope I get this right. And then it must be a red splot in the middle. Looks kind of random so far, doesn't it? But you just trust me, and we stick a black oxide daisy flower charge in it, and then a red pointy thing at the top. Alright, see if I got that right. Suddenly, we have man kind of shape with dragon wings. How cool is that? Of course, in my texture pack, it looks like I'm ginger. Since currently I kind of actually have a monopoly on chorus plants, and thus purpur, because even if someone came along to my place and borrowed one of my chorus flowers, you need endstone to grow it from it. And apart from Star, who's been to the end, I'm the only one who's got some, because he gave me one. But I've only got one, so that makes actually farming chorus roots pretty hard. But then I realised there is actually another block you can grow chorus flowers on, and that is other chorus plants. So from just a single endstone, you can branch it out, and then I can grow 4 different plants up here, or you know, I could go further and bigger if I really wanted to, but I figured this is big enough. And then I can get purpur, and which is quite a nice decorated block, and I can sell that and make lots of money. Of course, Star can also, well, presumably he can provide people with more if they really want, and considering he gave some to me just because I asked nicely, it may not be such a big thing, but for the moment I've got a monopoly on it, so I figure I should sell that while I can. this was supposed to be just, I'll quickly build a temporary farm where I can grow chorus fairly quickly, and as normally happens when you just go to build a temporary farm, you end up spending ages making it look pretty, like with all these bricks and the ice. I was going to use glass, but I didn't have any glass on me, and you can kind of see the main plant down there. It all looks fancy, and all the glowstone. So yeah, kind of went a little bit overkill considering this is all going to go eventually. But looks nice for now, and it works pretty well. In the process of building this and doing the testing that required for it, I discovered that purple, well, not purple, but the chorus plants themselves can actually be used pretty nicely as decorations and stuff. They almost look like lamps. So, I mean, they don't actually glow, but you could put like an end rod on top of them and stuff. Or you can have them actually dangling down from the ceiling, and they kind of look like hanging fancy things. Of course, they have to have end stone on the bottom in that case, but you could surround it with like stairs and stuff, and then have a sea lantern or something underneath. The sea lantern colour goes really well with this. So, there's actually lots of really cool things. And actually, I quite like the mechanics of these. That they grow in a very interesting way, which is different from, I guess, any other plant in Minecraft. Like trees, they just pick a tree shape and grow that. But because it's a procedural process, it's quite fascinating and interesting to study and figure out different ways you can utilize it. And yeah, so techniques like this would also be good for if you had like a skyblock map where you only have one end stone or something. I don't know if that's a thing in skyblock maps because I haven't done one in a while, but that would be really useful. Like you could have massive branching structures and have like huge farms for this thing just from a single end stone if you bothered to put in all the effort to grow it in the right shape. So yeah, and that's quite interesting mechanics. Even if we eventually do get lots of end stone once we have access to the end, I think the dragon fight we said we're probably going to do sometime towards the end of this month, and it is getting towards the end of the month, so it might actually be fairly soon. But in any case, it might be an interesting intellectual challenge to just have it for the single end stone farm anyway, just kind of for fun. Alright, well I believe I'm finished stocking the place up. It's now open. Hop inside. Get it? Hop inside. And smell the bargains. The best deals dredged from the depths of Davy Jones' locker. And prices may be subject to change, as I realise some of them are too stupidly cheap and some are too stupidly expensive, but I'm selling a bunch of stuff, and I'm selling them in diamonds or quartz blocks. And generally the ratio is 8 quartz blocks is worth of diamonds, which is the same as Will's Quartz Exchange will give you, because it's a whole stack of quartz blocks for 8 diamonds. And that works out a pretty nice system. Some of the things like the enchanted books and stuff, you need to pay more quartz to get the same amount, but that's generally it. Yeah, prices can be hard to read because sometimes they block into the side of the things. That's annoying. But so on the top layer we have bows, and I just made them all 1D each, and I didn't bother. I was originally planning on like mashing them together and making good ones, but that's actually too much of a pain. It actually does take quite a lot of levels, so I do them for this. They're fairly cheap, but all you need is like three or 4 maybe of these, and you can get, I don't know, a proper full enchanted bow. So 1 diamond each is pretty good. Clownfish. You have to read this one. They're useless, but they're cute, so they're 1 diamond each. I'm hoping someone will buy them just because they can. This is the book corner, and there's 4 categories of books. Let's go in this order. Old books, good books, and then super books. So if you know the references there to what the different categories are, remember it's related to fishing. That's pretty cool. You might recognise why that is. So old books are just any 3 for a diamond, or 3 quartz each, which means you're actually paying slightly more quartz than the 8-to-1 ratio. And these are just, I don't know, whatever. They're all pretty good. The good books, they're just 1 diamond each, or 10 quartz. So again, it's a bit more if you're paying quartz. And pretty much, there's no fixed rule about which category I put everything in. But, well, there's a few fixed rules. Like, there's some things that will always go in here. Like, if it's got Unbreaking 3, it'll always be in here. If it's got, I think, Sweeping Edge is generally in here. Looting and Fortune and things like that. Probably Silk Touch as well are always going to be in here. And, I don't know, a few other things. Super books, pretty much they're just mending books at the moment. Actually got a bit more from more fishing, so I could restock this, but haven't sold these yet, so that'll come in handy. And so far I haven't really had any need to put anything that's not mending in there. But I don't know, maybe if there's something that's really good, like it's got loads and loads of stuff, then yeah. So they're the expensive ones. They're 4 diamonds each. Alright, now this is the special service we do, the custom enchantment service. So I'm going to read this to you. So, your item enchanted with any possible combination of enchantments of your choice. So you can say, I want a pickaxe with fortune and unbreaking and mending, or I would like a diamond hoe with mending and unbreaking, or something like that. But you can't do things that you can't stick on stuff, like you couldn't ask for a bow with infinity and mending, because that doesn't happen. Or things like that. You couldn't have silk touch and fortune, or anything like that. You couldn't put knockback on an axe, or whatever. Only things that are possible. Obviously, I can't do things that are impossible, and it's only 6 diamonds, or 2 diamonds extra if it's mending, unless it's a bow or a fishing rod, because then getting mending on those is easy. So, 8 diamonds for a mending tool, pretty much. You provide the tool, or whatever, any tool or armor, I guess. I provide the rest. So 8 diamonds if it's mending, 6 if it's not. That's pretty good. You can get any combination, anything, even the complicated ones. I don't care. So delivery options. You can either pick it up from here, and that's free. I'll just probably leave it in this chest. You can get it delivered for only 1 diamond, and pretty much you just tell me where you want it, how to get there. If it's like, you know, stick it in my base, you can be specific as you like, as, you know, put it precisely in this chest at these coordinates here. You can deliver anywhere. You can deliver in the middle of nowhere if you want. Just tell me where to deliver. Or you can just be like, if it's a general location, like my house at spawn, and I know where your house at spawn is, then that's fine. But, yep. Or you can have the special, I guess, high deal delivery, which is delivery without some form of minion fun prank, which costs a bit more. So you got to pay for that security service. So that kind of implies that regular delivery will come with something slightly fun. It'll be something fun and non-destructive. It'll be like you deliver your item, but it suddenly falls out of your head when you walk out your front door or something. Or an anvil falls on your head when you pick it up. Or something small and fun. It won't be anything nasty or destructive. It's not a large-scale prank or anything like that. It's supposed to be fun, and I'm actually trying to encourage people to do that by charging a lot to not have that. Although maybe I should have charged more to have that, because it's a special deal. I don't know. Anyway, it's just kind of a good excuse to do something funny to someone. So to order, all you do is write your request, and then you just stick it. Here's an example one for people to read. You just go write what it is. So in this case, a wooden shovel with efficiency, unbreaking, mending, and fortune. And please deliver to Will's RV in Spawn Town. Right, and then just an example. So you put the order, the item, and the payment, because this one's delivery is 1 diamond, mending because it's 2, so 9 diamonds for that. And there's a supply of stuff to make the order forms over there, and you just stick that in there and hit me up on Discord or in-game chat if I'm online. Just go, hey, I left you an order, and I'll go, yep, I'll come get your order when it's convenient, which I guess could take a few weeks depending on how busy I am. But I'll come along, enchant your item, and deliver it to you if necessary, or else leave it here with a note. So that's a pretty cool service, and I hope some people do that, even if they're doing it just for fun, and not because they really want the items. Speaking of doing things just for fun and going to people's places, I would like to make a proposition to Thor, the Hand of the Hammer. So I'm going to write up a book and find my way to his place, and then I'll discuss that with you. So here we are at Thor's base, and he's got some really beautiful terrain around here. He's just got this massive kind of valley canyon thing filled with a lake, a little island, and it really is beautiful. And his village, I believe this was like one of the naturally generated villages, but he's upgrading it, so he's like changing all the houses into these really cool steampunk houses, which don't look quite so nice in my texture pack, just because the colours are a bit weird, but that's alright. And it's really nice. He's got this really nice airship. That one's the Lassie Pollock, I believe, and I think there might be plans to do some more airships around the place. But I really like this place, and I really like this kind of style of build. It looks really nice, and the airship, and I thought, I mean, it's not really the kind of style I'm going for at the Drakenberg, but it could still look nice. I mean, Drakenberg's main feature is, you know, a place you can't get to except by flying, or into Pearls, or the Nether, or whatever. So airships would make a lot of sense there. It would be cool to have an airship, maybe a bit like that one, maybe a bit smaller, somewhere at the side of the Drakenberg with a dock. So I thought maybe I could get Thor to build one as kind of like an embassy, and perhaps in return I could build a small embassy here with a dragon statue. So I don't know where I build it or what I build, but it's something we discussed together, obviously. Like maybe might look nice to have one down on that rock there in the middle of the lake. He might have other plans for that, or on that mountain thingy, or it doesn't even have to be on the ground. I could build one flying in the air so it looks like an actual dragon, and it could be incorporated into a building. Like I'm thinking a small house or maybe a little tower. Think of a kind of a castle tower type thing with a dragon wrapped around it and climbing on the top, and you know, he could be lying down, standing up, whatever. Lots of different ideas, but I thought I could do that in return for Thor, and Thor could maybe build me a similar thing, well, not a similar thing, but like kind of a little steampunky house with an airship somewhere. I'm not sure whether on the Drakenberg itself or maybe one of the neighbouring mountains. I haven't really decided, but somewhere within the bounds of Drakenshire. So I have made him this book, which I will sign shortly and leave here. Dearest Thor of the Hand of the Hammer, the Draklings, and yes, I decided on the name, the Draklings, admire your architectural and engineering skills. Engineering in the term of airships, not redstone. I mean, his redstone's fine, but he just said in his episode he's mostly just copying things. So yes, and engineering in terms of, you know, things like this elevator and stuff like that. Not actual Minecraft engineering, but steampunk engineering. Draklings admire your architectural and engineering skills displayed at the site of your steampunk village. I'm going to have to delete all that just to fix that. Therefore, the Grand Drake, another name I've decided on, of Drakenshire, wishes to enter into diplomatic relations with you. This would entail the following. The Draklings will send their ambassador, that's me, to your village to construct there an embassy. This will consist of a small building featuring a majestic dragon statue of a style and location to be discussed between us. In return, you will construct an embassy at the Drakenberg, or at a suitable location within the bounds of Drakenshire. This will consist of a small building featuring an airship dock, with an airship stationed there or flying nearby. If this proposition is agreeable to you, please consult with our ambassador Noxter to arrange the particulars. The Draklings send their deepest regards, and there's a cool little symbol thingy, kind of, you know, it's a bit like the banner dragon dude thing that I spent like half an hour figuring out how to do. So that's pretty nice. Okay, where's that typo? So I'm going to leave that here in a chest. I might even go get the Drakenberg banner as well and put that there, just because. And I'll leave it somewhere where he will see it, and hopefully he's agreeable to those terms, because I think it would be cool. I'd like to be able to design another dragon statue. That's kind of fun. Or I could use one of the ones I've pre-designed. But I think what I might actually do is design it on camera and record some of the designing process. So we could figure that out together. It will be a bit more fun that way, at least for the viewers, as opposed to me just saying, yeah, I built a thing using a schematic, and just build it and say, yeah, I built a thing. Look, it looks awesome. So that could be fun for us. So yes, I'll sign the book, maybe get a banner. I don't think I got one in my ender chest, so I'll have to go all the way back. It's not a very long trek. And yeah, I'll make one of those and leave that somewhere. But I'm going to call that it for this episode, because that's a good length for an episode and a good amount of content for an episode. So I shall bid you adieu. I said that last time. I should say something different this time. See you later. Have a good one. And I will catch you next time. I hope to catch you next time, because next time will be great. I hope so. If it's not, then the time after that will be catch you that time. Alright, see ya! Alright, I am led to believe that this will work.
As a mother, I want the
What
best
the
for
heck?
my child. So when my little
Why are we playing ads in the background? Oh well, there's noise being drowned anyway. worked. Now, seriously, what tab of the was playing those ads?